For Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Roser here with senior safety Peyton David of the St. Thomas More Cougars, the reigning Division II champs, playing for another one this year against a pretty familiar face in LCA from across town. The fourth time those two teams will meet in the last 2 years, including a thriller, instant classic of a state championship last year. How are we feeling as we kind of ramp up preparation for that thing, and just how does it feel to be back in the dome in general?
We're excited. I mean, playing LCA is always a good challenge, and playing that dome ups the atmosphere a lot. I mean, we played them week 10, and it was an awesome game, kind of similar to the one from last year. So, it's going to be a good game going into it this week.
How do you guys win that matchup? All three times these last 2 years thus far, you hear how difficult it is to beat the same team twice when it's a good team and there's a level of familiarity and fairly evenly matched talent and whatnot. So for y'all to be able to scratch out, especially the last couple that were so tight, y'all made the plays to come out on top of at the very end. How, essentially? I mean, to be that consistent with it.
Our coaches preach just play Cougar football, and that's just to do their little things right and just stay disciplined the whole game. And whenever we go down, we know our offense will score, and we know we can go get a stop when it's needed. So the main thing is just never get down on ourselves and keep pushing, because little do we know we can win with a minute 40 left, down 2 possessions. So
I wanted to ask you about the approach that y'all's coaching staff has for y'all in big games like this in particular, when you have a state championship game and everything else that goes into it, a different venue and hitting the road, and everybody in the community wants to get excited and do pep rallies and all these different things. How do they work with y'all to approach it and make sure that it doesn't get too big and y'all go out there and keep the main things the main things?
we have trust in our coaching staff because they've been here before. We got a lot of experience on our coaching staff. And the pep rallies and all that, it's fun, but that's for the fans. We have one job, and it's to win this football game. We can hopefully celebrate after, but as of now, our job is to focus at practice, watch film, get good reps, and win this football game Saturday.
What is it like preparing to face LCA's offense led by a guy in Juwan Johnson that is racking up new career records every week during the playoffs? He's a guy that certainly has made plays against y'all, but y'all have been able to contain him enough to come out on top. What is the challenge there of that Knights offense led by Juwan?
It's a very explosive offense, but if we just play our job and play discipline, and just they'll make you look dumb if you make mistakes. So you just got to keep the mistakes to a minimum, and you trust our offense can outscore them.
You're a guy that we've seen play at a high level for that defense throughout your high school career, and we're one of the veterans back this year, but y'all had to replace some key guys, including in that secondary, and knew that there were going to be guys with, some experience maybe, but not a ton, that were going to be called upon to step into bigger roles. Talk me through some of those guys, and just what it's been like to watch them grow into bigger roles and hold up their end of that, 1 out of 11.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, Brian Broussard and Gavin Dipushin are 2 junior corners, and I think they've done a pretty good job not having much experience. I mean, Brian played a good bit last year, and Gavin played a good bit too, but, I mean, they worked hard this offseason. They work hard together like they're good friends, so, and you just got to trust them.
How has this year's Cougars team been similar to years past, and what has been kind of the biggest difference, if any, in terms of the journey to this point, or an identity standpoint, or the way y'all have approached any aspect, mottos, anything that may pop up?
The similarities are just the one goal. It's the state championship and the same routines all season. I mean, we had the same exact schedule as last year, so it's the same. I mean, we basically itinerized it off of last year, but the difference is we have a lot closer group this year. I mean, everyone's really close, and I think that helps us a lot on Friday nights.
Tell me a little bit about Sam, too, a guy that I think most of us that have watched him closely consider a pretty underrated quarterback in this 2024 class. And we're kind of scratching our heads why some of these colleges haven't come in more aggressively for him. I asked you about the development of the corners around you. To watch him and his strides from kind of following big shoes early last year to what he did in the dome with you guys at the end of last year, and now watching what he's done this year. How much fun has it been to watch your classmate and his growth on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, so me and Sam, we went to middle school together, so we've been close for a while. And I mean, he's undefeated since he became the starter, and he always finds a way to win. So I don't know. He definitely is an underrated quarterback, and I don't know what college coaches are waiting on, but I just know he has the will to win, and he always finds a way to do it.
And how about you, man? When you look at your development the last couple of years, what have you been pleased with as you've grown into that much more of a critical piece of that defense and a leader for this team?
I've definitely become more of a leadership role because I've played a couple different positions, meaning I've seen different sides, different areas of the field. So it definitely helps me coach, not only coach, but just like be able to call coverages based on what the offense comes out in.
I ask you guys as we kind of get into senior year, and certainly as we get to this point all the time, has it hit you yet that this is the last high school game for you? I mean, win, lose, or draw, you're wrapping it up in the Superdome.
After we won our semifinal game at home, I almost started tearing up, but I'm sure it'll definitely hit me after this game once I realize it's all over.
What's Saturday afternoon going to look like when most of Lafayette probably is in that
Most
Superdome
last
watching you guys?
They'll be in New Orleans, and it'll be a great atmosphere. A lot of the school body's going to be there. Their school is really supportive of the football team and all athletics. But yeah, after the game, we'll all hang out and celebrate together, and it's going to be a good time.
Message to those fans for what to expect or what you hope to see from them out there?
Just expect a great game, and you'll get your money's worth.
There you go. He's Peyton David, a standout on that defense for the St. Thomas More Cougars, the top seeded Cougars defending that state championship from a year ago against, again, a familiar face from across town in Lafayette Christian. And Peyton, appreciate your time, man.
Yes, sir.
You got it. For Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Roser. See you soon, sir.